Hey everybody, Larry, Fort Worth Memories Museum and Groups. Uh, Let me find the live feed and there I am. I'm waiting on a customer to bring his Range Rover, I think it's a Range Rover. Sunday morning, February 23rd. Uh, Hold on just a second. I need to find. Let me share that, and then I'll find. Okay, hold on. There it is. Okay. I don't think we got anybody in yet anyway. Okay. James is in, Jeannie's in, Robert's in. Let me make the top of this ticket here. My customer will be here, I think. He said he's going to be here at 8:30. So today is February 23rd, 2025. I didn't even look at the news. Who was the winner of the Cowtown Marathon? Anybody know? Let me find out right quick. Who won the Cowtown Marathon? Naturally, it doesn't say. Maybe that's it. I guess it was Renee Elmer. Lachaundra Hooper and Rachel, 3 women. How many runners were there in the Cowtown Marathon? I don't know why they keep saying the 2024. This is 2025, people. It was the 47th annual running of the Cowtown Marathon. 23,000. That's last year. Why they don't have anything current? I thought this was supposed to be the age of technology. founded in 1978. Current nonprofits include American Cancer Society, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Well, Internet, y'all are behind the times. They tell you so much for the technology world. I guess they're all down in DC meeting with the prez. Okay, so on the way in, somebody asked me about a mass murder that the man killed 6 family members. That was not in Fort Worth. I do have a vague recollection of that. The guy's name was Lackey, I think. Lackey. And it's, I guess it's kind of south Fredericksburg. It's pretty close to Fredericksburg, okay? So the gist of it was this Lackey, good morning, and you can't hold me to all of this because it's not Fort Worth history, but this guy Lackey was at one time a Texas Ranger. He's a big guy, 6 foot something, weighed about 300 pounds. Real ruffian. I mean, he's always a troublemaker. Had a big family. A rumor got started, and it was a close-knit family, that he had impregnated his daughter, who was underage. So that kind of ate at him for a year or so. Then somebody else in the town said he also impregnated his niece, I believe. Anyway, this guy had enough, and he goes nuts. And he thought his brother's the one that started the rumors. So he went to his brother's house. Here's my customer. He went to his brother's house and, hold on. Brett, come on in. All I need is the key. You got somebody picking you up?
I do.
And I'll give you a call. It'll be ready around lunchtime.
Okay, sounds good. Hope you can work a little magic on those scratches.
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks.
Thank
sir.
you.
Appreciate it.
No, I didn't get a new truck. Good morning. Monty's in. So anyway, he goes over to his brother's house, and they get into a squabble, and they both had, well, I don't know if Lackey had a gun, but his brother had a gun, and he pulled it out and started to fend off his brother. They struggled for the gun, and the brother got away and ran outside. Now the brother's wife and kid, young son, I can't even pull this up in my mind. There's no newspaper. I just remember the story. So he finally, the brother trips over a rock or something, and with the brother's wife and kid looking on, Lackey shoots him in the back of the head. So then they finally, the town gets together and they arrest this guy, and I think they took him to Fredericksburg. Anyway, he stayed in jail 2 days. Oh, he had killed he killed 5 other family members. I think 2 of them were cousins. he killed that daughter that he supposedly impregnated. And then I don't know who else, but all 6 of these people that he killed were all related somehow. So what Lackey had done was slit his own throat when he went into the town to tell him, this is after he killed his brother. He slit his throat, damn near bled to death, I think. And to tell the marshal or the sheriff, whoever, that some guy had went in and killed all these people. Of course, his brother's wife and kid immediately nullified that story. So they put him in the jail there in Fredericksburg, I believe. Then they took him back to the little town he was from, and they had him in there for till nighttime, and the town is just going berserk. They say the posse was about 70 or 75 of the townspeople, some of them women, and they went and took this guy out of the jail and drove him, I think, a mile from the town, and there was a tree. They had a stool in the back of this wagon or truck, some type of vehicle, had him stand on it, put the rope around his neck, and the boy of his dead brother was hollering, "Jump, jump." He wanted to see this guy killed. Well, at the same time, the wagon, or if it was a vehicle, whatever, caused this vehicle to move, and so he dropped all the way to the ground. The branch wasn't big enough. So they found another tree about a few feet away, and supposedly this Lackey, even before they came to the first tree, he probably said, that's not going to be strong enough to hold me, those branches. So they did it on the second tree, and it was strong enough. So let's see how close I got to the real story. How are we going to look that up? Mass murder in Texas, and I'm just going to put Lackey, Lackey, I guess. I'll put small town stunned, Texas Hill Country. Here it is, Encyclopedia of Murderers. My aunt's in that too, Ada Bilbrey. Oh no, that's not it. Evil was involved. Well, that's not it either. Might not even have it. Lauren Lackey. No. I'm going to put Fredericksburg. I can't even find it. Lackey murders. Blanco County. Yeah, here it is. It's in the Texas State Historical Association. It was in Blanco County in 1885. Al Lackey killed 6 of his immediate family or relatives of the Pedernales River, on the Pedernales River. There's an article, and it talks about the second tree. The posse gathered at Brushy Top, wherever that is. The jail's still there. It was in 1885. That had to be. Al Lackey is the guy's name. The Lackey tree stands just north of Paradise Hollow, 1 mile north of Blanco on Highway 66, just west near the highway. I don't even know where Blanco is. I never even heard of it. Blanco, Texas. Population's 1,682. It's near Johnson City. So, anyway, I was close. I don't even know where I heard it or how long ago I heard it. That dude killed 6. Okay, so we had a good lunch yesterday at Grump's Hamburgers in River Oaks. It was real good. They got good food. And there's several of them. I think they told us one time there was 5 or 6 of them. So if y'all missed it, you missed a good feed. I was going to see if there's any news that I hadn't seen the news, and I hadn't even looked at it. Everything was so cold. Channel 5, let's see what they got to allow. Oh, the trains are running. So, I kind of like this idea. I don't know if y'all have heard about it. Elon Musk sent out an email or a printed deal. They must justify their work, and I think it's every week. Saying that employees must respond to an email justifying their work they completed this week, or if you don't, you resigned. That'll get their attention. Federal employees have already begun receiving an email asking to summarize their work. Boy, they're getting down to brass tacks now. That'd be like you go to work and on Friday your boss says, "Okay, Larry O'Neill, what'd you do this week? Tell me. What'd you work on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday?" And if you don't respond with an email telling them, in other words, you've got to justify your job every week, or by not emailing back, that's your resignation. That'll get a bunch of attention. You can bet that'll be in court. Hey, I like it. Did we ever figure out that shooting on Mansfield Highway? There was 2 of them ended up dying. It looked like a car lot. 5200 block of Mansfield Highway near Loop 820. Yeah, auto sales business. That thing's been there, that car lot's been there forever. I used to do detail work for that place. I know it's different people. Because the guy that had the car lot, him and his wife, and I believe his son took it over, but they've all passed. It's right off 820. You can see it from 820. I wonder if it's a disgruntled customer. They're asking for people that have any information. Yeah, when I saw it on the news, or a news flash, hold on.
I don't know, man. It's sad, man. I pray that the family.
Here's a
A
video.
developing story in Forest Hill where police have confirmed 2 people died. The investigation is underway in the 5200 block of Mansfield Highway. Candace Sweat is in Forest Hill with the latest.
The investigation is ongoing. Now, we are off Mansfield Highway near Loop 820, where the focus of the investigation is an auto shop just a few yards away. Forest Hill police tell us they are working tonight to piece together exactly what happened. But here's what we know so far. This afternoon around 3:30, police responded to a call here along Mansfield Highway. Forest Hill police say multiple agencies responded to the scene, and officers arrived to find 3 people shot. They tell us officers began life-saving measures until fire and MedStar arrived and transported all 3 people to area hospitals. Forest Hill police say 2 of the gunshot wound victims were later pronounced dead. We spoke to a witness who says he was in the area around the same time that police and other first responders were arriving. He described the tense moments.
When I seen dude laid out, I was like, man, I hope he lived, man. But they had all his clothes off, so I don't know, man. It's sad, man. I pray that the family and everybody who involved, man, I hope they heal, man.
Our cameras were on the ground rolling as police blocked off the scene and gathered evidence and interviewed witnesses. Forest Hill police tell us several agencies assisted, including Fort Worth Police and the Texas Rangers. And we've also been in touch with the Forest Hill Chief of Police. He tells us new information is expected sometime within the coming hours.
Wow. Yeah, that at one time when I was doing work for him, it was also a holding pen for records. They had a record service that leased part of that lot. It was a fenced lot, I remember. And they repoed a car once for the EECU. Back in the day, I did the work for the Teachers Credit Union over there off of 7th Street at the time. That was when I was still on 7th Street at 1015 West 7th. And they said, you got to go over there. And hell, we went over there and I took one of my drivers, and of course I didn't have a release, and I said, well, call them. Call the credit union. That's who hired y'all to repo it. And the guy said, no, you got to bring the release. So I had to go back to the credit union. It was on a Friday, and I think that credit union was on Penn Street, if I'm not somewhere up there. And then we went back out there and got it. But there was a car lot associated with it that wasn't the same as the record. They just leased the spot. So that thing's been there, and that was in the 80s. So I'm sure it's not any of the same businesses. It's probably somebody went over there to, that's tough when you go to repo a car. I know when I was noting cars on 7th Street, sometimes I hired a guy, but I had one of those trucks where there was a stinger in it, and you could just back up to the vehicle not even get out of the truck, push the button, and the thing grabs it underneath in the front, and you jerk it and get it out of there, and then drive away a couple of blocks, then you can connect it the right way. But we went over there to those apartments off Brentwood Stair. I'll never forget it. Me and Dwayne, the guy that worked for me, and I had the title to the car. Whenever I went out to get one, that was before. Now, if you go to repo a car, you got to call the police. So if somebody calls in and says, "Hey, somebody stole my car and here's the description," they're going to say, "No, it's not somebody stole it, it's the lien holder." But this was before that. And what caused that to start was a record driver down in Houston went to snatch a vehicle and got killed for it. So anyway, we go out there to this apartment complex right off Brentwood Stair, and there's only one gate in. It's the same gate you come out. So we went in there, and it was early in the morning, but there was a crowd of people up at the front. They were drinking beer. It was on a Saturday morning. And so we grabbed the car. I was driving out, and they wouldn't move from the gate. They walked over and they said, "You're not leaving with that car." I wasn't going to confront them. I just said, "Here's the title. Tell her good luck." I never did go back. So it's tough. But now the laws are a lot different. You almost have to prove to the police, law enforcement agency, or whatever community it is, that you are the lien holder. Anyway, I bet that they're either that or somebody was trying to bought a car and took it back, and some of those used car guys say, "Hey, as soon as you drove it off the lot, it's yours." So anyway, that's too bad. 2 of them are dead. This week is supposed to be pretty the entire week. That Newsmax or Newsbreak, whatever, that's really, I like that Newsbreak. They give news all over the country, but they also give it in your area. Oscar-nominated Fort Worth musician gets golden send-off to Academy Awards. There's a good picture of Ed and Sasha. God, Sasha's gained a lot of weight. Ed looks to be all right there. That is Ed and Sasha Bass, and our mayor is also in it. And then the musician, I don't know who he is. Elizabeth Beck, Jeanette Martinez, Chris Nettles, Parker and Alexander. It was for Leon Bridges? Yeah, Leon Bridges, he's famous. Hell, I thought Leon Bridges was, I didn't know he was even, let me look. I met him at Caravan of Dreams. Todd Michael Bridges. So I guess he is still. Yeah, he's still alive. He's only 35 years old. Went to Arlington Heights, Tarrant County College, Crowley High School. cool. Does he still live here? He splits his time between Los Angeles and Fort Worth. He played at Caravan of Dreams a lot. I met him. In fact, Laura Lynch introduced me to him. Laura and the Dixie Chicks, that's where she met Ed Bass, I think. Okay, let's do the sponsors. Let's start with Yellow Snake Horses, Brazos River Ranch. Today be a beautiful day to go ride horses. A little chilly right now. They say it's supposed to shower this morning, but it's going to get to 60 something. Okay, David is in. Wasn't it Blanco? Yeah, it was Blanco. Weekly report card. What's that? Oh, Ricky says he thought it was a farmer employee. Maybe. Monty, Robert. Robert, you still recovering? I know you are. I don't need to be looking at that. I need to be looking at the camera. But okay, let's get going here. Come on, internet. A-Bird AC and Heating. That's Dub Peacock's company. If you got problems with your heat or air, that's who you need to call. Eric Walsh is a realtor. He's on my board at Larry's Kids. He's a good guy too. Bert Ladner Real Estate. Wes Williams, our fellow member. Eric is also a member. Wes is associated with Bert Ladner Real Estate, and he's also on the board. Steve Coburn's Catering. They used to have a cafeteria on North Main. They still cook out of that same location, but the cafeteria closed in the 60s. But Coburn's was started in 1946. Otha and his brother, Steve's daddy. Dickie Carr Sand and Gravel, that's Pat and Richard Carr. They are hugely involved with everything to do in Fort Worth and other places. And they were the first people to give a $5,000 check to Larry's Kids for the bicycle giveaway. There is Richard's nephew, Dickie Carr. And I talked to him the other day. He's in his 30s. He's got Grateful for Your Trees, and they do absolutely everything to do with trees. Cut them, trim them, make firewood out of them, whatever. Express Dent, paintless dent repair. If you got hail damage, door dings, something like that, they're over on White Settlement Road. They're close up to University. They're on the across the street from Audubon, probably BMW. About a 10-bay outfit over there. They got about 10 bays, so they can handle lots of cars. Fort Worth Lumber, they have been on board with me almost from the start, I guess, both as a sponsor and as she has been, I don't know, over 10 years giving me bicycles, or money to give bicycles. Brandon Cross Electric. If you need an electrician, Brandon Cross is the person to call. All of these people are the people I highly recommend. And I want to hear feedback from you, whether it's good, bad, or whatever. Because we post it on the group when we get if we get a bad review, we post it. Jenny Stewart is our State Farm insurance lady. She's got a large team over there. So if you don't have insurance with her or State Farm, you use Allstate or Farmers or whoever, call and get a price. You might be able to save some money. Old South Pancake House. I should have stopped there this morning. Rex Benson owns that. It's been in the Benson family since 1962. I actually knew Rex's daddy, Dave Benson, before Rex knew him. That's how far I go back with the Benson family. K-Ranch Roofing, that's Jorge Hernandez. This is his third year being our roofing sponsor. If you think you've got some kind of damage, just call and you'll talk to a lady named Bree, and she will set you up an appointment. They'll send a specialist out and they'll tell you if you got hail damage or roof damage. Or if you don't, you might have a clean bill of health. The Optimist Club of Fort Worth, Jeff Norman leads that group up. They do all kinds of good things for youth. Athletics stuff. They give scholarships to TC, CC. They just do a lot of good stuff. Passport Getaways. If you want to book a cruise, it doesn't have to be now. If you want to book one for December, or take a trip, go to Vegas, get a junket, go to Europe, whatever. Passport Getaways is who I recommend you call. Raines Plumbing is another one of our family-owned businesses. Anything to do with plumbing, these folks are ready, willing, and able to help you. And hey, good morning. And like I say, they're another family-owned business. I recommend we buy Fort Worth and spend Fort Worth. We need to keep our local businesses propped up. Charlie Guerin, Railhead Barbecue. Charlie is our state representative. He's on my board at Larry's Kids. He brought in a lot of money last year, over $20,000. He came in second behind me. How much did I get? 60 or 70,000. So we eat at Charlie's Place a lot. Yes, we take donations. Go to Larry's Kids. Is it .com or .org? Try either one of them. You can make a donation anytime. But Charlie Guerin, his brother Pete runs the Sid Richardson Foundation. Their dad Preston was very active in the community. Those Guerin guys are both good guys. Raines Plumbing, I already told you about. There's Rex's Bar and Grill. It's in the same parking lot with Old South Pancake House on South University Drive. Rex has really opened up the premier sports bar anywhere around. They're ready and hoping for a huge crowd during March Madness. I've had nothing but good reviews over there. Casey Crawl, they are our Medicare, Medicaid insurance experts. If you try to navigate that Medicare or Medicaid yourself, you'll go nuts. That's another project the government does that keeps us completely at bay. I tell you what, the more I think about this, okay, David, have a good day. The more I think about this accountability deal that federal workers have got to check in every week, well, I tell you what, that's a great, that'll weed them out. Anyway, Casey Crawl, call them. They'll come out and help you get through the Medicare and Medicaid questions. Jerry Swartz and his partner Hanson, they are our architect sponsors. They also give every year to the bicycle giveaway. They were the folks that came, Jerry and a friend of his, I need to get his friend's name. I'm going to send Jerry a message this afternoon. They came by about 30 minutes before I needed to leave to go eat yesterday. His friend is, his grandmother was Tad Lucas, the rodeo trick rider. And then her daughter was Mitzi. She died a couple of years ago. But Tad and her daughter both are in the Cowgirl Hall of Fame. Danny Stroud, Stroud Auto Supply. I met and visited with Danny and his wife several weeks ago, but I actually bought parts at that auto supply store when I was 16. I didn't know that was his dad's place, but the guy that was working on my old 55 Chevy, that's where he bought his parts. I used old Tom over at California Custom, right over in Haltom City, about half a block from the Dude Motel. I had a 55 that had a 327 with 2 4s, and it was almost impossible to keep those things tuned, and it was definitely impossible to keep gas in that car. It guzzled it. There's G2 Garage. Chris and his team, they've worked on several of our members' cars. I've gotten great reviews. In fact, when I was Ubering it, the Uber driver we was on Loop 820, and a truck tire had come apart, and I thought it tore the front end off of it. Man, it made a hell of a noise. But it tore that shroud in the front down, and I told him, I said, well, you can stop on the way to take me. He said, no, I'll take you home, and then I'll come back to G2 Garage, and Chris and them fixed it up for him. He was real happy. Phelps Family Auto Care. Now, also, G2 Garage is in the White Settlement area. Phelps Family Auto Care is in the Burleson area, and there's nothing but good reviews on them. Mike and his wife, Mike Phelps, and his wife, I visited with both of them. Mike's father just had a bunch of medical issues here a month or so ago. I hope he's out of the hospital. Fort Worth Florist, Jeanette and her team, they had a great run at Valentine's Day. But if you need to send flowers for anything, weddings, funerals, just to send flowers, whatever, Fort Worth Florist. Alpha Design and Build, that is Lance Sanders' company. He does a remodeling, but they can put a second story on your house or your commercial building, whatever. Here's our own Scott Sumner. He is our IT guru and director. He's the one that keeps all of these platforms running smooth. He builds our websites. He does all of that. Clay Winstead, Winstead Paint and Body. I've been doing business with the Winsteads 40 years, way before Clay was in it. His dad was there. They're on White Settlement Road, just past Roberts Cutoff. If you know where that Crystal Springs apartments are, he's across the street from them. It's still cold outside, so bring those babies inside. Okay, anybody got anything they want to talk about or discuss, or what do I know about the Cowboys draft? I don't know anything about the Cowboys. Nothing. I don't think Jerry knows anything about the Cowboys. I know they're worth a lot of money, and there's stuff on the internet said Elon Musk is trying to buy them. That dude could buy everything, I think. Yeah, weekly report card. Yeah, Brittany, that's exactly right. I like that. I'm sure the workers don't like it. And as soon as one of them doesn't respond and gets fired, there'll be a lot of lawsuits start on that. MSNBC drops Trump-hating primetime host with history of racially charged statements. They're all getting the message, I can assure you. Elon says bar is very low after giving federal employees ultimatum. They got their attention, I can assure you of that. It's unbelievable. Okay, still, it's not warm enough to start on that car. It's a brand new car. I got to wax it, and then somebody drug a briefcase or something across the hood. It's got a lot of scratches. I bet that thing, a new Range Rover Sport, I bet it cost $100,000 at least. How much is a brand new Range Rover Sport worth? You gotta be kidding me. $2025 is $253,000. Are you nuts? That's unbelievable. 2025 Land Rover, Range Rover, MSRP $261,720. Unbelievable. Here's one, 2025. It's used, $141,000. Can you imagine that? I don't see how anybody can afford any of this stuff. How could you possibly pay for that? You have to be a drug dealer to buy these things. Jesus. I got one guy, y'all seen his cars, I'm not going to say his name. He's got over $1 million worth of cars, and there's only 6 of them. I do them all. One of them's a Ferrari, and it's not new. It's used, but he paid $300 and something thousand for it. I don't see, it blows my mind. Anyway, I'll be here till probably noon. Somebody wants to bring a donation by. The museum has got to have donations. We got 0 donations yesterday. 0. I don't know. Something's going to have to shake. I can't keep paying all of the overhead here without any help. Just can't do it. It's not going to happen. But I'm locked into a lease, so at some point, though, I'm going to have to figure out what's going to happen with all this stuff. Hopefully I'll live 10 more years or maybe longer. The city can't, I don't think they can do anything. And it's almost impossible if they let my collection get away. My kids will piecemeal it. It'll be on a Christie's auction, I can already tell you. It'll be a big auction because there's over 94,000 pieces. Hell, it'll take them 2 months to inventory it. Of course, here in this part, there's only these 2 rooms, 6,400 pieces. Climatic controlled warehouses, I pay $4,300 a month just on warehouses to store this stuff. That's $50,000 a year. That's why I'm always broke. Okay, so wow, I can't believe that guy killed. They hung his butt pretty quick. Now, the lady with Brazos River Ranch, Yellowsnake Horse Ranch, I asked her the other day, is there somewhere where people barbecue or you got tables? Yeah. I think they got an Airbnb there. I was thinking that maybe when the spring or summer got here, it's an hour's drive. It's in Millsap. And for those that wanted to ride horses, they could, but if just get out of town for a Fort Worth Memories event. Have a bring your own, you know. Each family bring a dish, potato salad, fried chicken, whatever. What do y'all think about that? Any interest in that? I think it'd be pretty neat. I'll get with her and find out more particulars. What's the weather now? I don't want to be here all day on this. That's how bad we need money. I got to work Coopertown. Where is that? Fort Worth. It's 45 now. In 45 minutes it'll be almost 50. I'll start at 10. It's brand new out, but I got to wax it. These things don't. $270,000 and they don't even wax them. First house I ever bought was $25,000. I put it on a 20-year note. This guy brings in a car that's $275,000. He looks like he's in his 40s. They're paying these kids a lot more money than they paid me. So is the Pope, he's still conscious. What happened to the Pope? Receiving high flows of supplemental oxygen. Critical condition, complex lung, what? Complex lung infection. Wow. How old is he? How old is the Pope? He's 88 years old. The oldest Pope was the 13th, I guess. He was 93. He was born in 1810 and died in 1903. What's the Pope's salary? Doesn't receive any salary. All of his living expenses are paid for by the church. You know, one time I was studying how those the big shots in the Nazi regime got out of Germany and got to Argentina, wherever. It was called the Rat Line. You know who that Rat Line was? The Roman Catholic Church and the CIA. Why in the hell would the CIA and the Roman Catholic Church assist those big shots in the Nazi regime? I've never figured that out. But that's who supplied the money. The Secret Service, or Central Intelligence Agency, and we should have investigated them people. Okay, boys and girls, I gotta go. Please give us a donation. Anything you can do will help. I'll check on that deal down at the Brazos, and I'll make a post about it. Y'all can weigh in whether you'd like to do that. Of course, we'd wait till it maybe May or June. I can close on a Saturday morning. We can leave here on a Saturday morning so everybody can get back by 1 or 2 o'clock. But everybody bring a dish, and one family can bring sodas, another family can bring paper plates and forks and knives. How long is it since you've had we've never had yeah, we have. The first 3 birthday parties were a picnic also. And it was all 3 of them were at over there in River Oaks. What's the name of it? I'm at a loss. Burgers Lake. And those were neat. The 3rd one, Michael Jones was the cook. Michael has been gone from us now for many, many years. He was a good guy. Sometimes I post pictures of when we had Breakfast Club meetings at Westside, and in one of them there's three. James is in it, Michael Jones is in it, and Betty Dalton is in it, Burks. They're all three no longer with us. Okay, so I'm gonna sign off for a little bit. I'll come back when I get kind of done here with this